welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Aftermath podcast. We are on episode 7, I believe.
Yeah.
And or 6/7.
Some numerical value.
I'm your host, Trunks, and I'm joined today with my two lovely guests, which I'm going to let them introduce themselves. One of them you may remember as a familiar voice and face. We've had him on an episode before. Zonex, if you'd like to introduce yourself here.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Zonex. I was on the Dota podcast. I was the captain of the Dota team. I still am. We do start our new season in a couple weeks, so that's good to hear. And yeah, I'm really excited for what Aftermath has to bring, and some of the people here are some very close family to me. So I'm always happy to be on this pod. It's a lot of fun. Love the guys. See where it brings us today.
Skeltoz?
Yeah, so my name is Skeltoz. I am an editor here at Aftermath. I edit the Glowcast and Apex Legends related things. I haven't been here for long, but I already love it, and I love everybody I've met so far. It's great to be here.
Well, yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us today. And, at this point in the podcast, I would love to introduce sponsors that we have to our viewers. But we're actually looking for sponsors. So instead of introducing sponsors, we're going to put out a little looking for sponsors for this podcast. So if you'd be interested in sponsoring Aftermath and the Aftermath podcast and everything that we're doing here at Aftermath, please reach out to us. Our email is info@aftermathesports.com. We're also reachable on Twitter and Instagram as well.
Sponsors though, Truly, Carmi, Truly, you hit up AM Carmi on Twitter for a sponsorship. He loves you guys and he wants to talk.
Oh, true. Carmi and Lily, they're shotgunning Trulies every time they get together.
True.
So,
Truly.
Bro, I shotgun Trulies in spirit. When I shotgun a Truly, I'm like, Carmi. Have you guys ever seen that video? There was a video that Carmi posted. I was out at the bars with my friends, and I was like holding a beer and stuff, and they were in like this important meeting, and they took a video of it. Did you guys see that?
No, I don't think I did. I thought you were going to bring up the one of Lily failing the shotgun.
Oh, that's a classic.
That's a good one.
I don't know. When you're bored, ask Carmi for that video. That's a funny video. I was super wasted, and Carmi in theory were like in a meeting, and I was at a bar. Like I was like with all the boys and stuff, and we were just doing our thing. And I joined the call, and we like FaceTime, and Carmi's like, "We're working," and I'm like, "I'm not." Like I don't know. It was a good one.
Chug.
Yeah. I'm not, and I'm like,
you know what? That's how most of these Aftermath meetings go, though. Everyone's like, "Yo, let's get together and we're gonna hammer out some notes," and then you hear in the background.
yeah, everyone's getting hammered.
Somebody gets like.
It's a Canadian thing, though. It's a Canadian thing.
Somebody gets like way out of pocket with the soundboard. Like the quacking.
Bro,
the quacking in
man.
every single meeting.
I had to leave early that last staff meeting, but I have access. I have Nitro, so I have access to like every Discord server's like soundboards and stuff. And I have some ridiculous sounds that I should have played, but I didn't get around to doing it.
Bro, there's some criminal sounds out there.
Yeah, there is.
Dude, the Discord. Have you seen was it on Reddit? There is like a bunch of stories. I'll probably everywhere all on the internet, but like those Reddit stories on TikTok and stuff now.
Oh yeah.
I was listening to one of these Reddit stories, and it was like, what would happen if your Discord chat got leaked to the public?
Bro.
FBI, open up.
If my Discord, I was about to say, if my Discord gets leaked, if my Discord, like my DMs and stuff get leaked, like I'm fighting for my life in court.
Wait. Okay, let's not incriminate ourselves here on the internet.
Okay, like I'm not gonna lie to you. Discord's a safe place for me. It's like one of those places where I feel like I can say anything I want, but in the end it's gonna bite me in the ass at some point.
I think I've left a bunch of Discord servers, but if my girlfriend ever sees what I've said in those chats,
oh no, this guy's meowing and stuff. Oh god,
it was pretty bad.
No way.
At one time I had a Discord channel. Actually, I'm not gonna say it. if you want to know about it, you can find out off the podcast.
Yeah, you're gonna say it. You're gonna say it. You're gonna say
You can find out
Yeah,
off the
just spill
podcast,
it.
and we're not doing that. But yeah, thank you guys so much again for joining us today. For for those of you who aren't in the know, this is take 2 of this podcast because I had the wrong mic set up and I couldn't change it after we start recording. So there was some funny stuff that was discussed and some pretty hot stuff. Like Zonex came in today
Yeah.
and he was heated. I think he got it out, but we can definitely chat about it for sure.
We can if you guys want to listen, then we can. If you don't, then we don't have to. Okay?
Why don't we start it off with just a simple question for you guys here, and then we can kind of like segue into that and see where it takes us. I want to know, have you guys seen the Barbie movie recently? Like, you guys have heard about Barbie and like Oppenheimer? Those like
I've
2
heard of
movies.
both of them. Yeah, but you'll think I'm crazy. I haven't been to the movie theaters since like 2017.
Fair enough.
I do not like going to the movies.
You just don't like it?
No,
or,
yeah,
like,
I don't like going out and like watching movies.
Like, are you just like not a movie
Yeah, I'm really
guy?
not like a movie guy either. Like, I grew up watching them like in high school and stuff like that. With my friends, we'd all get together on Friday or Saturday nights and like watch movies together. But like, after like towards like the end of high school, I was like, yeah, I don't really like mess going like to the movie theaters and like watching movies in the theaters. And I don't really like watch movies. I watch movies like maybe once a year. Not a big movie guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I never have been either. And like this like right now nowadays there's like this big Netflix wave,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe a little less now than it was like during COVID, for example, but like I don't know. I don't watch TV. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I that could be the gamer inside me. Like I'm watching streams, I'm watching YouTube
yeah, basically
videos, I'm
same.
watching,
I would rather watch
like-
Twitch or YouTube videos than get on Netflix or Hulu or something like that.
Yeah,
That's like
exactly.
those things keep my attention span more than like watching Netflix shows.
I also think it has to do with the fact that like when you're watching a show or a movie, you have to pay attention.
Yeah.
And I have the attention span of like a housefly. So I can't sit there and watch a movie for 2 hours and not be incredibly bored. So like it's a lot easier to have like a Twitch stream up on a secondary monitor and play games at the same time. I don't know. That's just me.
I literally do the same thing.
Yeah. Like even like I'm a student right now, like I'm doing work on my main monitor and I'm like watching shit on the other sides. Like it's
Yeah.
just
You know, that's super
I
fair. I think I have a ton of streaming services which I really don't need. Like I have Crunchyroll, Disney Plus, Netflix. Although I don't pay for my Netflix, my dad does. But anyway, that's the point.
My mom pays for mine. She doesn't need to know that.
Yeah. And I've started shows on all of these platforms, and I don't think I finished like half of them. Because I just game the whole time, and I watch Twitch streams and YouTube videos.
yeah, I know. It's what usually happens is I'm gaming and I'm like watching some series or something, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, I missed 4 episodes, but I don't want to go back and watch them.
That's true.
Same.
And it's like I've played 8 Val games in the last 4 minutes. Like what happened?
So
Yeah.
much easier to just throw a stream
Yeah.
up.
And you know what? You save so much money. I mean,
Yeah.
albeit if you like sub to Twitch streamers and stuff, maybe you don't save as much money. But
I have a
Yeah.
funny story about that actually.
let's hear it. I wanna hear
I
this.
thought it was funny. So, Twitch Prime. Sure, we all know what Twitch Prime is.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't, Amazon link Twitch Prime. You get a free sub. Anyway, it's a free sub if you have your Amazon Prime linked to your Twitch account. In my household, we have the shared Amazon household thing.
Mhm.
And we were under the impression that there was 2 Amazon Primes attached to it. One for each member of the household that's on it. Well, that's not the case. There's only one. So for the last 7 to 8 months, my brother and I have been fighting back and forth to whoever gets to use the Twitch Prime first. And we just found that out yesterday because he was trying to use it, and I had used it like 15 minutes prior on somebody. And he comes into my room and he's like, bro, I still can't get the Twitch Prime to work. He's like, I called Amazon customer service. He's like, I talked to somebody on the chat.
No, this guy was on the IT phone,
he's like, I
bro.
thought my Amazon was bugged. And I was like, bro, I just used it on somebody. And he's like, yeah, apparently there's only one per household. I was like, well, that's stupid. So then I gifted him a sub in the channel. He was trying to use the Prime in. I was like, just use the Prime. It's yours. I'm like, just use the Prime.
This guy used the Prime on Doll 2.
No, I used it on Nice Wig.
On Wig, bro?
Dude, you guys gotta use your Twitch Prime subs to rizz up your favorite streamer.
True.
Bro, that's facts. Bro,
Every time I
that's fact.
Write
That's
that
free
down.
money. And
dude, think about
that's
it.
free
Think about
clout,
it. You find a
dude.
streamer that you like, and then you spend the next 9 months subbing to them with a free Prime, and your 9 months tell them you guys have a baby together. W Riz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only gotta wait 9 months though.
Is it worth the wait? Find out.
I think I've done it.
is-
To every one of our content creators.
That's
I
actually
do it to male streamers, so I'm
great.
completely straight.
Oh. You know, understandable.
Understandable.
Yeah, it is what it is
It
sometimes.
is what it is.
Bringing things back to the Barbie movie. You guys haven't watched it. That's totally okay. Do you guys
No.
care about spoilers?
No,
Okay,
I
spoiler alert for our listeners here. I'll try not to spoil anything, but just in case, you know. Have you guys seen like online recently with like all Reddit and people talking about it at all?
a little bit, yeah.
A little bit how it's like
Little
a commentary on like the status of like people in society right now, like the patriarchy, misogyny and stuff, but how they kind of like reversed it with the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than that, but like relating to Ken, as like we're all males here. Sorry, I don't want to presume, but we're all dudes and we're all people here.
Guys and dudes and dudes
Guys
and
and
guys.
dudes and dudettes, and Ken is a character in the movie that kind of like throughout the movie he like lives for his partner, right, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the very end of the movie he has like this self journey where he realizes that his value is not determined by his partner or the things that he does in society. His value is like himself, right? And it was like a really good movie for girls, guys, and whoever watched it, because there was a message for everyone in it, and I thought it was really good. And like my girlfriend and her family that came with me, they all cried. Like all the girls cried. And
Yeah.
I like understood like that happening, and also like I got the message for like the men as well. And I thought it was like a really, you don't really see a lot of that in media today.
Yeah, I heard it was incredibly empowering for women. The movie.
Yeah, I heard that too. I mean, I obviously I didn't see it. I haven't really talked to anybody that like seen it, was able to give me like their full like personal opinion on it, and like how it is impactful like to them. Like, but I've seen other
Their full
things.
like spark
Yeah, exactly.
notes.
Like how
Yeah.
much it meant to them to like watch this movie and how well I did with it, and how like they were able to tell, I guess, for lack of a better term, a story or like an opinion.
Yeah. It was super empowering for women, like 100%. But also, like, I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's an attack on men, blah blah blah. But people forget that people can't really see that it's not an attack on men too. Like, it's also an empowering movie for guys and how society has set them out to be. Because right now, like, especially like for my upbringing, my mom was always like, oh, no one will want to marry you if you don't have a house, if you don't have a job, you know, or like, yeah, if you don't own this, you don't own that, you don't have a good money, education, blah 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 blah. And like my value is no longer who I am as a person, and it now became what my materialistic standards are, you know.
Yeah, your
And
assets.
that movie was like, hey, no, it doesn't matter who your partner is, it doesn't matter what you do, it just matters that who you are, and that's enough. And I think a lot of people broke up because of that movie.
They were like, I just realized he's
Yeah.
not good for me.
I heard that too.
And it was freaking crazy. And I think like watching that movie, to be honest, like I'm in a relationship right now, and since seeing that movie, I'm like, if my girlfriend cheats on me, fuck her. I don't give a shit, because you know what, I'm enough.
Bro.
Hell
Yeah.
Flip
Yeah.
the shit, but-
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? Okay, I'll tell you one thing I've learned over the last like week and a half. If shit happens between you and a significant other, right?
Yeah.
No matter what it is, if shit happens and you make a mistake or she makes a mistake or whatever it is, just tell the truth, man. it saves so much pain and it saves so much time. And yeah, it's gonna hurt right when you say it. I'll tell you that right now. When you tell the truth about shit like that, it is gonna save so much time. It is gonna save so much pressure. Is it gonna hurt you more for the short term? Probably, but you're gonna feel a lot better after. I'm letting the world know that, like, whoever listens to this, like, if you're like I just can't tell them what I want to hear for, or what they need to hear for them, they need to hear the truth.
Agreed. Communication is
Understood?
huge, no matter what aspect of life it is, whether it's a romantic relationship or personal relationship or professional relationship. Communication's like huge, I think.
Yeah, and something I forgot though is that every person, every human being on this planet sucks at communication more than you think.
Yeah.
You know? Because every person, I hate to be the one that says this, every person in the world is out there for themselves. Every single person wants what's best for them. It's just the way the world works. I didn't make the rules. So they will communicate to you in a way that benefits them before you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Agreed.
take that L, tell the truth, be honest, especially with someone that at least you claim you love, right? Just be honest. I promise it'll save a lot of your issues. It'll make things move on a lot easier.
True.
Remember, be honest.
Yeah, thank you for the wise words.
Be
Zonex.
honest.
Wise words of Zonex.
Needed to get that
Put that on a
chest.
sticker.
Put that on one of those pins.
Oh, be honest. A be honest pin. Can we get AM be
Yeah.
honest pins?
Yo, can we get AM be honest hats or something? I'd run that.
we
shit.
gotta think of a
Run that.
funny slogan or a good slogan. Not funny. I don't know. I always say everything's funny, but we gotta think of a good slogan.
Everything has to be funny, bro. Like, look at the world nowadays, right? Like, nothing is enjoyable to watch unless it's funny.
It's true.
I
They
don't know.
made. I think the reason why they made the Barbie movie did so well, it was like a serious message, but they made it funny, and a lot of people were like,
Yeah, they
"Oh."
also had comedy style stuff.
If you don't end up watching the Barbie movie, you guys should at least listen to the album. It's pretty good.
Oh, okay. I could do that.
I'll probably watch the movie eventually, but it's like not on my to-do
Sure.
list. You know what I'm saying?
I do want to see Oppenheimer though. Apparently, you see.
I do
Florence
too.
Pugh's
I actually that
movies
is
for,
a
like,
movie I
15
do want
minutes.
to see. Yeah, I like calcium cannons myself. Big fan. Big fan. You know,
All right.
is what
So-
it
Is
is.
what it is.
Before we get canceled.
Bro, don't let Carby listen to this pod, bro. Carby's gonna be like, "What were you guys on? What are you guys doing?"
Yeah, Carby? You mean Larby?
Larmy?
Yeah,
Larmy.
Larmy, bro.
Larmy.
Fucking
Yeah.
Larmy,
Okay.
bro.
So we, as you guys know, Carmi is one of the owners here at Aftermath, but I think
He's like the main owner.
I think,
He's the main guy.
recently Carmi has said something to us, and all three of us here know it, and it was the biggest L that Carmi's ever said. He's like, he likes country music.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay.
Okay.
I told him I would formulate an educated response for this. And I'm going to use as much of both of my degrees combined and my low IQ to get it out there.
This guy literally typed it into ChatGPT.
It all depends on how you grow up, with what the culture of what you've grown up in and what you listened to as a kid growing up. And to
That's
keep
fair.
it short,
I agree with that.
to keep it short, my dad listened to rock music because that's what he listens. That's what he listened to growing up. So he's grown up listening to rock music. He still listens to that kind of music. I have learned to love that kind of music as I got into like my late teens and early 20s. But growing up, I was like, I hate this music. You know, I don't want to listen to any of that. So growing up, I would listen to like hip hop and R&B and pop and all that stuff. But like rap too is like a huge part of me growing up. And like every time I heard a country song, like it would just get skipped in the house by my mother or my father. So, and like now, even now, like as I was growing up and formulated my own opinion, I was like, yeah, this music just ain't it. It just isn't it. Like I don't like this. There ain't nothing for me to listen to for here.
Yeah, and for me, like, I've never been a country guy. I could never get into it. And where I'm from and where I live, like country is kind of it's a big genre now. I can't do it, man. I can't do the listen to my girl in my big red truck. I can't do it, man. I can't. It's too slow. It's too like feely for me. Like, I don't know. I personally listen to a lot of house music. I also listen to a lot of hip hop music.
Yeah.
And I think it also has to do with the fact that my brain is very wired at all times. Like, I always have to be keeping my brain busy. And it's like country music's too slow and it's too
So what about like those
it's like not enough.
What about those
know?
like EDM country music remixes? Those
Okay,
are fire
so this
for
is
me. I
another-
like those.
Yeah, okay. So this is another thing I was going to talk about too. There is kind of two genres of country music, right? You've got like the Willie's Roadhouse, which is like literally some guy on a banjo, like and singing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then there's like some sad boy on a guitar. And then there's like the newer shit, like the Morgan Wallen and the I don't even know his name. Those guys of the new world who are doing songs with features with like Lil Durk and like these big rappers nowadays. Yeah, I still hate it. I still can't do it.
In
man.
short, it's garbage.
I just
I thought you were gonna go. All these new features.
know.
It's actually not bad. And he just goes, "No, I hate it."
I was thinking about you, like, you know, and I tried to. I was like, I'm gonna throw on like I went on Spotify and I was like, poppy country current playlist. I was in that bitch for like 2 minutes. And I'm like, I can't do it. I just can't. And it's I don't know if it's living rent free in my brain or something, but I just can't do
You know
it.
what?
Like,
You know what's the only good country song that I've heard so far? Or
Wait,
okay,
honest.
I have two that I thought have been like okay.
last night we let the liquor talk.
Look, he's like, you got me.
The Little Nas X, like whatever, Old Town Road. That one was really good.
Okay. Old Town Road was a banger, and people will hate on me for saying that, but that,
You know,
you
okay,
know,
everyone liked it when it first came out, but then it got overplayed, so now people don't like it anymore.
Yeah, because it was on the radio 15 times a day. If people even listen to the radio still, I do, but
And then
listen to the radio.
yes.
Like when you're driving around your city or whatever, you're like going to get groceries. You put on the radio. You ain't plugging
I
your
plug
phone
my
in?
phone in, but sometimes I'll listen to the radio. I'm a boomer stuck in a 23-year-old's body.
you know what?
For,
I
like,
get it.
things
I
like
get the
that.
radio thing. I listen to the radio too, and actually sometimes I'll listen to the news, because I think as like someone who's like chronically online, sometimes you don't have a chance to like sit down and like chill and like let things kind of relax. And listening to the radio or like listening to the news on the radio, it's just kind of like that moment to kind of like catch up with everything that's going on in the world.
Especially radio in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, like early in the morning, you're like driving to work or whatever. Sometimes the radio hits a little different. Sometimes I don't want to be listening to Suicide Boys on the way to work at 8 a.m. in the morning.
Feel
You know what
that.
I mean? You know what I mean? And sometimes you just listen to the radio, and then just like some country song comes on. I'm like, I'm done. I'm going back to my millennium. You know?
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know. I just never was a country guy. No one in my family ever listened to country. None of my friends really listen to country.
You know,
I think, and that's why I agree with Skeltoz. It's like, you know, it depends on your upbringing. It depends on who you're around and your
know, I-
lifestyle.
I will
But
say
I don't know.
Carmi, he did grow up in Calgary, which is like basically the Texas of Canada. It's super Cowboys.
is.
Like we have
Heard
a
that
big
before.
thing every year where it's just like
Super Cowboys?
Very
super
yeehaw.
Cowboys. We have the Stampede every year, so it's just like a big cowboy festival with rides. And
Oh.
it's gone away from like all the cowboy stuff and it's gone more toward like rides and shows and stuff. But they still have like chuck wagon races and stuff.
Where are you from, Skeltoz?
I don't normally tell people where I'm from, but I'm from the East Coast. I live closer to New York.
Cool.
Like you're
Yeah,
American,
yeah,
though?
yeah.
America.
Born and raised.
America. Born, raised,
I can
America.
see with
America.
the Chevy on your wall.
Yeah, red, white, and blue runs through my veins.
Oh, I
That
should
sounds
have been
crazy
able to
to
spell
say.
that from here.
But yeah, so Calgary has like all these chuck wagon races and stuff, and like all of the clubs, if not two or three of them, singled out, are all country clubs. Like they all play country music, and there's like line dancing and shit. And I went to one of these clubs once, and I'm never gonna go again. It was a terrible experience.
Are you from Calgary?
Yeah,
You live in
I'm
Calgary?
also from Calgary, but I moved out like further west. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm living in Vancouver now, but essentially what happened was Carmi was in Vancouver originally for work, and when I was moving to Vancouver, he was moving back to Calgary. So we ended up switching locations when I first joined.
Oh, that's criminal.
Yeah.
But the flights are pretty cheap. It's like $80 to come back. So I mean, if you decide to go to Calgary, let me know. We can all meet up.
I want to go to Calgary really bad, like soon.
I don't have a passport.
Well, you gotta get one.
I need to get.
have a
I don't have a
passport?
passport. I haven't had a passport since I was like 8 when I went to Canada one time.
You know, this is funny. This is funny. I've heard a lot of Americans in general don't have passports. That's what I heard.
No, I completely
Like-
think
like
you're right.
Like y'all just don't want to come up here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't want to hang out with the snow Eskimos. You know what I'm saying?
I've never had a use for a passport because it's just expensive to go on vacations, to be honest with you.
It is expensive, and you can also go on vacation within your country.
Yes, when it's this
You know?
big. And I've only been to like
Yeah.
6 states. There's 44 others I gotta go check out.
That's true. But I
But
mean,
no,
like,
expensive stuff. I planned out a trip to go to London to go. Oh yeah,
England?
in England to go check out to a LAN. It was like $4,000. I was like, okay, I'm not going.
Yeah, it's too much.
yeah, and stuff.
a lot.
I have a trip to Miami coming up at the end of this month. And the trip, like for me and my partner, was like, I think almost 5 or 6K,
Yeah,
and that's only for like 6 days. I was like, holy shit.
yeah, that's insane.
And that doesn't include
Yeah.
food.
Yeah, all.
Food is $100
Yeah.
a day
Yeah.
too, at least per person. Right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, speaking of passports though, like I think Theory came up recently to Canada, right? And like hung out with everyone in the aftermath.
Yeah.
Group.
Something.
I was like,
That's my laundry
there's a-
machine. Sorry.
I was like, I think there's an airplane
Yeah,
or a helicopter in your room.
I was like,
I was
guy
expecting dude to
is-
just take off.
I was like, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting something.
Your
to
facial
happen.
expression.
My laundry machine's on the my laundry machine's on the spin cycle. It'll end shortly.
Your,
The laundry
your
machine's
face,
on the
you were just like,
explosion cycle, dude. Did you put a brick in your laundry machine?
I don't know.
What
It's
is
my
going
girlfriend's
on
clothes. Don't ask me.
here? Do you hear that?
oh, I hear
Am I
no,
crazy?
It's a... I don't know. What was he gonna? I don't even know what he was gonna ask about
Anywho,
passports.
while my laundry machine's about to make it explode and I'm about to disappear from this podcast, you guys talk about Theory's trip to Canada.
Oh yeah, for sure. So Theory, as some of you listeners might know out there, is he's another owner of Aftermath. He's a good friend of Carmi's, and he's a good friend of mine and Albino's. And Albino's my brother. He's another competitor on the Dota team here at Aftermath. Theory spent about 2.5 weeks traveling across all of Canada, and he came to see all of the gamer
Oh, wow.
friends. And we thought it was really cool. Yeah, so Theory, so he started in Vancouver. He met Yaksha. Yaksha is a Dota player we play with. He'll be on our team this coming season. Good friend of ours. He's actually traveling in the Philippines right now. They met in Vancouver on his overlay, and then Theory went to Calgary and spent I think it was about a weekend with Carmi and Lily and all the Aftermath peeps, and did his thing there. And then he flew to Toronto, which is, I live in the area. Flew to Toronto, and he spent about 4 or 5 days with Huck and Mila. Those of you who know Huck was a highly professional, highly decorated StarCraft 2 professional back in the old days. We're talking like 2013, 2014. Like if you played StarCraft 2 and you watched any content related to StarCraft 2, you knew Huck. Him and his wife lived there, and Theory spent some time there. Me and Albino went up and met up with them. It was about a 2-hour drive for us. We spent the day together. We did an escape room. It was a lot of fun. We went out for dinner, and we came home. Theory came home with us, and he said he had the best setup at our place than he did anywhere. Like at Carmi's house, this guy was sleeping in a garage, man.
That I
This
didn't
guy was
know.
sleeping in the garage.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. What the heck?
I didn't know he was in the
We were
garage.
sleeping in the garage, bro. Imagine like your friends are like, man, come over for the night. It's gonna be a great night, but you gotta sleep in the garage.
Did he get a bed or
That'd be
what?
crazy.
Well, yeah, there's a
There's
bed in the garage, but like you're still in the garage.
I mean, we're gonna have to talk about this bed in the garage. I think there's something going on
We're
here.
gonna have to talk about this. There's got to be a guest room in there. Buy a bed.
We
bro.
gotta renovate the, no.
Yeah.
We gotta renovate the garage into a dorm house.
Yeah.
A really nice dorm house.
Yeah.
And then it's okay to sleep in the garage.
Or Aftermath just buys a gamer
Or what if we
house.
do like Carmi's garage? We do like those capsules that they have in like Japan. You sleep in.
You know, that gamer house, you guys should follow us on social media because, you know, you never know.
That'd be a lot of content.
Man, if there is if a gamer house comes up, I'm thinking about
You
moving.
never know.
Man,
It's
Southern Ontario sucks.
anything's possible for Aftermath. That's all I'm gonna say.
True. We're only going up.
Yeah.
Only up from here. But yeah, that sounds like a freaking dope trip. I'm glad Theory was able to meet everybody. I think I heard about Theory's layover, but I think I was working while he was here, so I wasn't able to stop and meet him.
Yeah. He stopped in like he wasn't even there for like a
for, like, a
day. He
couple
was there
hours.
for like I think 2 hours. He was in Vancouver. Yeah.
That's okay. Well, we'll meet up in Calgary, or I think a lot of people are going to TwitchCon this year. So
I was gonna say, are you going to
No.
TwitchCon?
my Miami trip's my big trip this year.
Yeah, true.
As you guys can hear, my laundry's done.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's jamming over there. I wanted to go to TwitchCon so bad, but I was just like, still looking for a job as a recent graduate, and I was like, I just can't drop the two and a half grand
Yeah,
to try and get out there. I was like, one day.
Yeah. As a current student, it's hard to like. I got 8 months where I'm not making money.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Coming up. Like I can't be dropping a bag on one trip.
Yeah, I think
No, I
for
feel
us though,
that.
we're pretty lucky because we us living in Canada, our school's not as expensive as.
No, it's not. But inflation is crazy out here. And tax rates.
Yeah, I feel
Not to get into politics. Just what the listeners
Just-
want is to hear
They're
us
like,
talk about Canadian
no,
politics.
not the Canadians.
no, trust us. We're not
Yeah,
gonna.
they're like, fuck.
Last thing I want to talk
dude.
about is taxes.
We're out. Yeah.
You know, speaking of like inflation and stuff, Skeltoz, have you found like work yet?
No, so I had a lot of personal stuff come up after I
Mhm.
graduated. That is finally kind of like settling down. I was taking care of a lot of stuff, so I'm on the job hunt again. After the semester, I was doing it for a couple weeks. Hadn't found anything, but I found Aftermath in that time frame.
Yeah.
That's when I found out. At the end of May, I was like in the talks with Carmi and Michael. That's when I kind of came on right at the end of May, when I was like looking for a job. Popped up on Twitter. I was like, let's just send an email. Like, what's the worst that could happen?
Well,
And so I'm back on the job hunt, and I started doing freelance work and whatnot, and opened up a business to do freelance work. So that's
Mhm.
kind of where I'm at now, trying to get all that underway.
yeah, well, for those of you who don't know, Skeltoz, again, I think he said it a little earlier, but he's one of our video editors and editors here at Aftermath. And with that, he's been helping Rennie and Lily with their podcast. Shout out to the Glowcast podcast. For the last, how many episodes have you guys had now? It's like 9.
The fifth episode, brain just delayed. The
Okay.
fifth episode just went out, but there's a lot more coming up, literally this week.
I don't know why I thought it was 9, but yeah, 5 episodes so far. You guys should definitely check it out. It's been like really, really dope stuff. What have they been talking about over there? Like,
It's a really personal podcast. I was talking with Rennie last night, kind of ironing out some of the upcoming podcasts that they have, and I'm not gonna leak anything, but they get like super personal over there, like with themselves, with the guests that they have, They talk about gaming like a little bit, not like crazy in depth, like but they talk about kind of the scenarios around the gaming and how the environment is of being like in the gaming space as a content creator and stuff like that, and relationships and all that. And it's really, you should just go watch it. They talk about a very wide variety of things in every single podcast. They're not just one topic. They get super personal about it. It's really relatable, and you get to know them very well. Like, they don't leave any details out.
Nice. Well, I haven't had time to really listen to the podcast, but there's 5 episodes out now, so maybe it's time to binge it during my long gaming sessions. Just put it in the background.
Yeah,
for sure.
You're just trying to shoot some lurking omen, and you're like listening to Rennie cry about her relationships.
Dude, man, relationships are freaking messy. That's why we play video games.
Yeah, it is.
But moment of silence for all those tough relationships there. But talking about games and stuff, we know that Zonex here, big FPS guy from our Dota podcast. A lot of Dota, StarCraft, but Skeltoz, like, I think it's a good time for people to get to know, like, what do you like to play? What are you doing right now?
So right now my entire life when it comes to gaming is consumed by Apex. For people that are watching, that's my main. I 3D printed that. It's Pathfinder. That's Nessie, which is a common thing.
No, I was a Path main too.
Yeah,
big Path main guy. Yeah.
That's Nessie, very wide scene in the game, and then that's Pathfinder's ultimate in like an acrylic light up stand.
That was
zip line.
That's really cool.
So.
That's cool.
But yeah, Apex consumes my life. I have about 1,500 hours in the game across 3 accounts.
Sheesh.
And
makes me wonder how many hours.
I'm not the greatest player. I'm not out here grinding high ranks. I haven't been anything high. I have never been diamond, but I enjoy just pubbing the game and playing with my friends. My friends are talking about competing in this next year upcoming, just for the heck of it, to see how far we could get into it. But the whole game consumes my life, and that's kind of how I got into video editing and all that, by editing my own clips, editing videos for friends. So I have a huge understanding of the game from playing it, and I watch just as much as I play, if not more, of the game, whether it's streams, YouTube videos, or even VOD reviewing my own gameplay.
Nice.
Is that what your degrees are in, by the way? Is video?
So my second degree, is a digital media degree with a video editing focus. But I guess the kind of a quick short lore of why I got into gaming and video editing and stuff like that is I was an engineer for 4 years, like professionally. So I did drafting and all that for a firm out of high school and through my first degree of college. And I realized I hated it. And I loved video editing at the time, and I was like, let me go back to school and get some formal degree. Like, you can only get so far just with freelance work.
Some representation that
exactly. So I went back to school and kind of focused on video. I focused on video editing. I called it my focus when I didn't have an actual determined focus, but video editing stemmed from me hating my engineering job and looking for an outlet when it came to streaming and all that, because a lot of people also don't know, but I was a content creator for 2.5 years, and I recently stopped at the end of last year, just fell out of love with it. So, but I stuck with the video editing off, kind of just doing YouTube videos and stuff like that, and not really streaming. But I play Apex every day at night with my friends. I still play with the same friends I've been playing with since the beginning, and it's the game's in a crazy state right now where it's annoying to play, but I don't think I'll stop anytime soon. When you're 10 seasons deep in a game, I think you're going to play it for the entire length of the game.
Yeah, that's fair. God, 1,500 hours. For us gamers, that's when you play a game a lot, that's pretty standard. But
bro, I don't mean to be the guy that's the one-up guy or anything. I have 4,700 hours in Dota on my main account.
And just your main. But you have multiple.
I have one alt account that has probably 300 or 400 hours. That's crazy. I didn't look at that until now, and now I'm realizing I'm a fucking
Well, how long?
bum.
Okay, this might be a little bit. How long have you been playing Dota?
I started when COVID started, like middle of 2020.
Okay, so you have like an okay.
I haven't.
So-
Yeah, like I haven't gone.
So
on.
I
Like I haven't left this chair.
I haven't left this chair.
Like,
I
yeah.
didn't start playing Apex until like 2021 or so, but I started watching the game I probably started watching the game about the same time I started playing because my brother got me into the game by just telling. I didn't know what to watch one day. My brother was just like, "Hey, there's this huge tournament going on right now for like $250,000 or something like that was the prize pool." He was like, "You should watch it." He's like, "This is my favorite player." He's like, "Watch him. He was in at the tournament." You know, I ended up watching the main broadcast, and
Who was it?
just launched from there. And it was the first year ALGS, the Apex Legends Global Series. For those of you that don't know, that's the professional scene in Apex. And my brother got hooked on that at around 2021. And
Yeah, who is the
a
player?
couple months, Albrelelli was
Who's the
the player
Bro,
my brother got me into.
I am an Albrelelli sub. I still
Yeah,
am.
my brother got me into Apex that way.
No way.
And he was like, "This is my favorite player. He has an awesome, gameplay. He's funny."
Mac is crazy.
And
Mac is
yeah, I
crazy.
still follow him to this day. So
Nice.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how I got into Apex.
Yeah, I think
I
I'm
blame
playing-
my brother. He hates when I say that, but I blame my brother for getting me into Apex. And he's like, "Stop saying that."
Yeah, I've been playing FESs my whole life, and I think like CS:GO, I have like 4,000 hours, and then I switched over to Rainbow Six Siege, and I have like 3,000 hours, and then like Valorant, I'm getting up there with 2,000 hours, and I think like combined total, I've been playing FESs for a year of my life,
What?
because
How old are you
26.
now? Okay.
No, like combined total, that's a long time. Because
Yeah, that's a lot of
4,700
hours.
4,700 hours
1/26
of
of
Dota,
your
I just did the
life.
math, and it's 195 days.
That's half a
So I
year,
spent
so
almost
half a
10,000
year of my
hours.
life. Bro, 6 months of the last 3 years I was on Dota 2.
Okay,
You want to take that in
but
for
do you
a
ever
second?
just leave the game open though?
No,
Okay.
not really. to
And
be
then how much
honest.
time do you spend in the menus? If you think about that.
Well, the queue times are long nowadays, especially if you're 5 stacking. Like if you're, like you can get up to like 20
Because
minutes.
we talk about
wow.
1,500 hours, 4,700 hours, but no one really considers how much time you actually spend sitting in the main menu waiting for a game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. I guess because my main account has 3,500 games, and games are an average of 45 minutes.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
you can do the math on that.
It's 15 minutes. I'm not doing the math, but that's
It's
a
like
lot
7.
of time.
My brain's not going to be
Yeah,
able to
whatever it
calculate
is.
that right now, but I would normally.
Yeah, well, we're heading toward the end of the podcast now. We've been talking for a good like 45 minutes.
Wow.
Time really does fly when you're like on the podcast and everything.
Zonex was like, "Hey, peace." he just
Just got
dipped.
up from his chair.
Like,
just,
"Hey, cool."
bye.
It's like my job here is done.
But yeah, I think Skeltoz is in Zonex. I think he has his headphones on, so he can still hear. So,
Yeah.
But I'm gonna just quickly thank you guys again so much for taking the time out of your days, like this last hour, and just coming and chilling and just talking today and having the community get to know you guys. It really means a lot to everyone in Aftermath that you guys like come down, chat, talk about stuff, and for all the listeners out here, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Once again, I am your host, Trunks, joined today by Skeltoz and Zonex, and I'll give them an opportunity to plug their socials in just a moment. But if you're following us here at Aftermath, or if you're not, make sure that you check us out on our socials. Our website, aftermathesports.com, Instagram, Twitter at AME Socials, TikTok, Aftermath Esports, and our YouTube, also Aftermath Esports. We upload all of our podcasts whenever we have tournaments, content, all that stuff goes live on our socials there, so make sure you check them out. And then in terms of the Aftermath podcast, tune in your favorite podcast listening devices.
Well, I heard, I can hear you guys in the headset too. Like I've never had to pee so bad in my life. Right there, I had to go, bro. It had to happen.
But yeah,
Otherwise, it was gonna happen.
Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, you know how it works. If you're watching us, if you're listening to us on those apps already, make sure you check us out on YouTube. You can see me eat some food while we're recording this. And then Skeltoz, do you want to plug your socials? Where can people find you? Where can people find you if they want to freelance some stuff?
Okay, so yeah, my socials, I really only use Twitter, so it's Skeltoz, but a 1 at the end of it, because I couldn't get just Skeltoz. Some rapscallion has it. And then on YouTube, I actually got Skeltoz. I post montages there and stuff like that once a month. And soon you'll be able to find me for freelance work on Etsy and Fiverr.
Cool. And that'll also be on Skeltoz?
They're going to be Skeltoz Creates.
Okay. And how do you spell Skeltoz there, just for the listeners?
Yeah, Skeltoz.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Zonex, you want to plug in?
This guy said Z. That's how I know he's American. Names we say Z. Yeah, I don't know. Funny thing. I've actually just started streaming on Twitch again. I didn't do that since I was playing Apex, and you can find me over at Zonex FPS. That's Zonex FPS. We're doing a lot of streaming over there, and same thing for Twitter, Zonex FPS. I don't share a lot there, but you can be there and be cool.
Okay, make sure you drop him a follow. He may or may not follow back.
Sure. No promises.
Right. Again, thank you guys so much for joining me today, and thank you to all of our listeners and everyone just chilling, listening to our lovely voices talk about whatever we end up talking about on the Aftermath podcast here. We'll be back again next week for another episode, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Thank you for having us.
For having us.
Yeah, once
Appreciate
again, I'm your
it,
host, Trunks. Thank you guys so much.